Over the last 10 months, several parts of the country have been battling a different kind of pandemic. Insects that ravage everything green in their path. Isiolo and Marsabit have been among the counties hardest hit by the swarms of locusts that continue to threaten livelihoods. But Leila Mohammed reports that despite the tough times, some communities are literally planting new pastures as a means of survival.
Mark Lepila runs after his small herd of goats each morning in order to ensure they don't wander far off the kraal. But even as the animals race to get their first meal of the day, there is nothing much to eat at this part of Samis in Marsabit County. Lepile sighs every time he begins to speak about the tribulations he faces ever since a group of unwanted guests landed in his village a few months ago.
Wanaingia juu ya mti, wanamaliza majani yote, wanamaliza mimea yote chini, wanamaliza ile nyasi ambayo imetoka. So tukawa na shida kubwa sana.
The locusts have ravaged the lands, leaving destruction in their wake. What was once green scenery is nothing but dust and shrubs left naked and exposed to the elements.
When large swarms of locusts affected these communities, then it destroys vegetation and then affects the well-being of livestock, milk, and also the health of these livestock. So this then directly affects food situation of the households, because livestock have to move away from where communities are settled.
Mali wanakuanga na mwili mzuri sana, lakini kwa sababu sasa hakuna ile kitu wanakula, wameanza kukonda sana mpaka hata ni shida ndio inachukuliwa. So ukienda tu kupatiana unapatiana na kitu kidogo, pesa kidogo.
Lepile is however grateful that he still has animals to take out of the kraal each morning, but he's fearful that if the skies don't open up soon, he may be left with nothing.
During this recovery phase, some pastoralists and agro-pastoralists have started alternative livelihoods, like starting small businesses.
Farther down in Isiolo, sheep graze on the little greenery that dots the browns of the earth. The herders here are grateful that their animals can feed to their fill, but this wasn't the case a few months ago.
Before zianze kuja bandei, hatukuwa tumeona madhara mingi. Wanyama walikuwa na lishe mzuri, walikuwa na mimea za kutosha, mvua ikinyesha tulikuwa na mimea za kutosha. Lakini baada za locust kufika ile hii, tuliona madhara mingi sana.
Scientists say that a second and even more vicious swarm is expected in East Africa this year. They've been monitoring the movements of the worst locust outbreak in Kenya in 70 years. The UN's Food and Agriculture Organization has warned that an imminent second hatch of the insects could threaten the food security of 25 million people across the region as it enters the cropping season. For pastoralists who have been stung once by this scourge, they are fearful of darker days if no one comes to their rescue.
There were efforts to control the locusts, which involved the Agriculture and Livestock Extension Officers, the Kenya Defence Forces, and the National Youth Service. Our division were one of the partners who assisted the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock to control the locusts. They actually supported the officers to spray, especially in Burat ward.
Kenyan officials have said coronavirus crackdowns have slowed efforts to fight the infestation as crossing borders has become harder and pesticide deliveries are held up.
Kuna mtandao tuliokuwa inaitwa e-locust. E-locust ni mtandao ya kuweza kupasha habari mahali ziko, alafu mara moja zinakuja kutatiliwa mara moja.
In this community in Marsabit County, the women gather for a bountiful harvest. Months ago, The lands were left bare as the swarms cleared the grasslands. Today they harvest a special kind of grass they were provided with, which they planted a few weeks ago, just as the rains fell over the area. They say the provision couldn't have come at a better time, as their animals had almost run out of pasture. Leila Mohammed, NTV.